The young mage walked down the halls of the academy. Her head was abuzz with thoughts and fears. It was test time for the mage, and her nerves were agitated. With each step, her staff tapped the polished floors. Even the calm decor did nothing to relax her. The white marble floors were marked regularly by statues of great wizards and witches, the pinnacles of magic and sorcery. Stopping at a towering statue, the sorceress looked at the aged face. A thick beard ran clear to the feet of the bald man. She had to wonder if it was accurate. Placing her hand on the silver plate at the base, she sent magic into the statue. With a groan, it moved. The head tilted to look at the tiny sorceress. "Greetings, young student. What knowledge is it that you seek?" the figure spoke. It was through these enchanted stones that the wisdom and knowledge of the greatest casters was preserved to share with future generations. "You are a Graildor in the battle mage," she asked, already knowing the answer. His name was on the plaque at the statue's feet after all. "Are you preparing for the practical combat exam?" "Yes," she confirmed. It was easy to tell that since she had replaced her embroidered robes with the less glamorous padded gambeson which they used to protect contestants. Best to limit casualties and injuries, her teachers would claim. "I am facing a mage knight and haven't figured out how to win." "Ah, I see. What is your strength?" It was a hard question for the sorceress. One she couldn't find an answer for. She hung her head in shame. "You should reflect on yourself then," the statue continued. With the bow of the head, the stone statue was still once more. Without another word, the sorceress continued her walk. Well, that was pointless, but to be expected. What good would cats be if they couldn't think for themselves? This was something she'd have to do for herself, after all. She had spent years at the academy. Every night she was poring over her tomes, learning the intricacies of spellcasting. Anything she could get her slender hands on. Her body was tiny. There was no way around it. She was as small and wiry. It was as if a slight breeze would send her flying without even the need of a spell. Though her time of musing was ending, her match was upon her. Stepping into the theater, she made her way to the arena at the bottom. Blue flames separated her from those watching in the stands above. Judging the match were several aged witches and wizards, the council of the academy. Those who would decide who passed and who failed today. Across from her was the magical knight, a spellcaster who focused on close-range combat. Rather than a staff or a wand, a foe carried a wooden sword and shield. Neither would be dangerous, but that didn't matter. Both glistened with enchantments, blessed from the magical warrior. The wielder of such weapons was muscular, even through the gambeson. The sorcerer had seen the arcane warrior training in the courtyard every day, running, lifting weights, and sparring, day after day. Which of them was stronger was clear. The warrior divided her time between spells and physical combat. A jack of all trades, but master of none. As the bell rang, the match began. The warrior trotted forward. Sword met staff. The young sorceress was driven to her knee by the pure strength of her foe. Strain as she might, she couldn't dislodge her opponent. This wasn't just a battle of muscle. Pulling her art once more, the sorceress let off a storm of flames. Using her shield, the warrior protected herself. Without disrupting the sorcerer's spell, the knight swung her wooden sword. A clean strike on the shoulder of the smaller competitor. She stumbled backwards, her hands rubbing the shoulder, just a bruise. If this had been a real fight, she'd be dead now. Resetting herself, she parried her next spell. She was too slow, and the warrior rushed her once more. The sorceress was pushed back and back again. She neared the edge of the arena. One more step, and she would fall out. No, she had to act, but what to do? Hello, and welcome back, aspiring adventurers, to Mythical Phylogeny. Today we are covering the Mage's Paradox. So, what is the Mage's Paradox? Surely that is the question you are sharing here today, correct? The Mage's Paradox is the name I have given to the problem faced by mages. Studying any skill takes time, be it magic, martial arts, craftsmanship, poetry, etc. Time that could be spent on other skills as well. Which do you choose? For civilians, it's what leisure tasks you do that you desire. For adventurers, it can be a matter of life or death. Train with the sword and shield, only to die when using electrical magic. Choose magic, and you are susceptible to those who are immune or even exploit magic. I've even faced a demon who devours and grows with every spell it faced. Yeah, we only got out of that one by smacking it in the face a lot. I'd recommend having a plan for that if you ever encounter one. As by now you can see the issue. So why is it called the Mage's Paradox? Well, magic is time consuming. There are whole schools of magic, each requires time to learn. Oh, it takes time. So why does this matter? Tell me, how do most mages look? Many of them are scrawny, known for their brains and not their physical strength. That's most. Get a mage in a fight where they can't sling spells, and you've won. A squishy is a term you've heard before, I'm positive. Warriors can compensate with bows or crossbows, but not mages. It takes physical strength to fight up close. Right? Right? Well, sort of. Weapons are force multipliers. A simple club allows you to increase the lever arm of your swing. Yes, the club. The standard by which all other weapons are judged. It's basic physics. Short version is this. The longer the lever you have, the greater the force you can generate. The same amount of effort. So just give the mage a really long stick, and they're good. Wait. What do mages carry? A staff? Is that why they carry them? So that they can beat the foes down when they get in close? No. Not at all. I said that the club is the weapon that you should judge all other weapons by. And by that I mean the bottom rating. Anything better is what you expect a warrior to bring to a fight. Like, say, a sword, a mace, or polearm. Yeah, there are a lot of things better than a big, heavy stick. A mace and axe are pendulum weapons, and it can be difficult to control if you don't have the strength due to their center of mass being far from your hand. There is a similar situation that occurs with polearms, but they are easier to manage with the longer handles. Swords are the easiest to control due to their center of mass being located at the hand if built by a quality blacksmith. Now, human skin isn't that tough. It only takes a little force to slice skin apart with a sharp blade. Just look at how easy it is to slice up a piece of chicken. But to use a sword in battle takes skill, and there is a benefit to physical strength in a sword fight. When you lock blades, it's called being in the bind. From there, you can control the tide of a fight. Being stronger can give you a clear advantage. Around and around it goes, it seems. Yes, a clever foe can take advantage of a stronger opponent. What is more difficult, and thus you need more training. No matter how you cut it, it seems learning a skill is too important. So what do we do? If we can only master one or two, which do we choose? Well, that actually can be decided based on your party. What? Are you a lone wolf adventurer? Or do you have a party that helps you out? Tell me, do you watch any sports? Baseball, tennis, or hockey? Have you noticed how specialized each team member is? For hockey, you have, say, the goalie, who never moves. They even use equipment that is vastly different from the rest of the team. And for baseball, oh, each position is very different. This is the same as in your adventuring party. You probably got a heavy, some tough guy who can tank attacks. What about a healer? You've got a white mage, right? Oh, and then you need someone to find and disarm traps. You could also have someone that is able to disable opponents, block attacks, and disrupt spells. Then you need people who can drop your foe fast, like our mage. Yep, a full party. Each cover the weaknesses of the others. The heavy and disruptor waylay the foes while your damage dealers swoop around and drop them. All the while the healer hangs in the back and duels with death. Everything works fine when all the pieces are in play together. Then what happens when you get split up? They struggle, and they are picked apart. Your healer and tank can't inflict the damage to drop foes, and your offense is too fragile to stand up to much abuse. Your party completely crumbles. What do you do? Do you remember tennis? Tennis doesn't have those big teams. At best, you have 2 players, and each covers half the court. They aren't exactly specialized at all. Each has to be able to play any part of the field at any moment. Exactly. In a party, you can specialize, but the fewer members you have, the more of a generalist you need to be. This is the danger of the Mage's Paradox. So, what's that mean to you? As a mage, what skills do you spend your time on? Do you perfect your magic and hope that you have enough raw power to overwhelm any foe you face? Or do you choose to study more things and have the options where you can adapt to any strategy the foe wields? So our question is, which is better? I could give you the cop out and say it's your choice, but I want to look into this. But could there be a true answer? Tell me, can you master two arts fully? Are there any examples of this? Tell me. What do you think of Leonardo da Vinci? What do you think? An absolute genius, an artist, inventor, scholar, and bodybuilder? Wait, what was that last one? Bodybuilder? Yep, Leonardo da Vinci was a bodybuilder in his youth. He even did strongman shows. I know, it's hard to imagine that old bearded man looking like Schwarzenegger as he painted the Mona Lisa. Yeah, that's a bit of a shock, but true. Here we have a proof of a man who's mastered both the body and the mind. If he can do it, so can you, yes? So how do we do this? Time management. Work your body at one time in the day and the mind at another. It sounds difficult, but I can assure you that you are doing that already today. Split your time between two tasks and tackle each in turn. But you think you don't have time. You've got to work, you've got school, etc, 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 etc. Well, how often do you hit the gym? 3 times a week or so? An hour each time maybe? What do you do on your days off? Yes, you found the time to improve your body and your mind there. This will require you to be dedicated to your goal, but it is possible. Yet your gains won't be on the same level as if you fully dedicated to your gym time. I mean, listen to what any bodybuilder does for their diet and their workout routines. They are dedicated to the task. They will be at the gym for hours and they're very precise with their meals. Sadly, no matter how much I look at it, I cannot give you a dedicated answer on which path you should choose. I'm sorry, you have to decide that for yourself. Just like our sorceress. Sorceress glared at her foe. It was time to counter. The warrior pushed herself forward, the wooden sword slicing through the air. Pulling her magic, the sorceress formed a wall of ice between the two competitors. The solid surface refused to yield against the might of the warrior. That bought her time. Time she could spend, thought the sorceress. She pulled all of her knowledge, all those late nights going over the books and tomes, translating ancient runes, learning different alchemical compounds. It's time to put all of that to use right now. The foe was faster and stronger. She couldn't stop that, but she could use her magic to match it. She concentrated fire between her hands. It grew hotter and hotter until it seared her palms. Through the ice wall she could see the warrior standing back as she eyed the icy barrier. With a smile, the sorceress unleashed a torrent of tightly knitted flames. It melted through the fragile wall in an instant. On the other side, the magical warrior had not been idle. She wasn't just a sword fighter, but also a mage. How many lectures had she sat through soaking up the wisdom and experience of her predecessors? How many nights had she stayed up after sparring to work on her spells? She was no slouch on either side, turning her spell upon herself, just like enchanting a scroll or sword. She wove the spell into her muscles. They ached at the surge of power. She was used to that. Her muscles often ached after hours of swinging her sword. It was time to act. Flames burst through the wall at the warrior mage. She cooled the air around her wooden shield. The frozen wood refused to burn, no matter the heat it faced. One foot in front of the other, forward. That was all she could do. The dueling mages closed in on each other. Magical flames met enchanted muscle. The shield defied the sorcerer's onslaught. Step by step, they closed in on each other. The flames fanned out as the shield pressed against the sorcerer's hands. With a swing of the sword and the staff, the two casters unleashed their final attack. They were both thrown clear of the arena. Above them, the judges decided the verdict as the smoke dispersed. Thank you for watching Aspiring Adventures. I am sorry that I couldn't find a true answer for this problem. This is a very complicated topic with no true winner. Please return next week where we shall turn our gaze to another beast. Next time, it shall be the Sasquatch. Be safe until then.